Britain's skies have never been busier. Every day, 8,000 planes are flying over 3 million passengers. And in the UK's £52 billion airline business, easyJet is the leader by flying more passengers than any of its competitors.
Get here.
Now, for the first time,
Is that my best side?
with unprecedented access to the pilots
Go have a banana sandwich.
A what?
Delicious.
and their cockpits, we'll show you an airline like it's never been seen before.
Okay, so gently lower the nose.
And this year, easyJet plan to fly to even more destinations with more passengers.
What people expect a pilot to look like.
Old and haggard.
So they're taking to the skies with hundreds of new pilots.
Haven't smacked it into the ground.
You will.
And what's more, the final stage of their training is on the job.
It looks so much bigger when you see it.
And we're coming along for the sometimes bumpy ride. So let's buckle up with the captains and the wannabe co-pilots, some of whom could be flying you to your favourite holiday destination a lot sooner than you think.
Lower the nose, all the way down, mate.
London Gatwick is home to more low-cost carriers than any other airport in the world, with easyJet its largest operator. Every year they fly over 18 million passengers from its single runway, as well as having a training base for their nearly 3,000 pilots. This year they need to increase that number by at least 350, which means every week trainee pilots come here to learn how to take off and land a real Airbus.
Everybody set, ready to go? Got all your gear? Okay, flight time's an hour 30 to go there, so we'll get downstairs, get the bus, get the plane, have fun for an hour and 30. The movie is crap, but there you go.
It's the job of the chief training captain, Chris Kingswood, to put the rookies through their paces.
Lead the way.
In his flying career, he's trained hundreds of new pilots.
The primary focus is the landing technique. So we'll be looking to make sure that the technique itself is basically correct. We know it won't be refined, but as long as it's about right. There's a regulatory issue. They've got to do 6 takeoffs and landings before they can get the Airbus endorsed in the licence and fly with passengers. So we'll get those minimum 6 landings, but we'll make sure the landing technique's all it needs to be before they go flying.
To avoid Gatwick's crowded skies, they're going to a quieter runway in the south of France, where each rookie will have to take off and land successfully 6 times.
You're relaxed over there, Tom. You're looking a bit tense. That brow's looking a bit furrowed.
No, just try. It's because of the sun a little bit. So.
Oh, yeah, okay. Really, you're a cool dude.
First up in the hot seat is Tom.
It's a team effort, mate. I'll guide you around that circuit as need be.
Okay.
Happy with that?
Yeah, happy with that.
Small corrections then, mate. There we go. Hold the wings level. Quick reset. Quick reset. Look to the end. Flare. I have control.
You've control.
Okay, I'm going to give you control. Maintain the centre line. Maintain the centre line, Tom. You have control, mate.
Sorry, I have controls.
Hold the stick. Hold the stick, mate, and rotate.
So it's because you said I have
Rotate,
controls.
rotate.
Not using the stick, which steers the plane, may not have been Tom's best approach for takeoff.
See if we can get the centre line earlier this time.
Yeah.
I intend to live a long and happy life.
But with Captain Chris's calm encouragement, it's not long before Tom's £120,000 training kicks in, and he gets to grips with the controls.
Very nicely controlled final turn, mate. Looking good. There, now just hold that. Look to the end. Look at the nose. Without slow. Right on the centre line, attaboy. Rotate. Look outside and rotate, you little rascal. Positive climb.
Yeah, right.
Your thrust levers. Now, give you heading. Excellent. Flight round the corner, young man. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it was better.
Yeah, it was better. Scan faster.
Yeah.
Control the flight path vector.
Tom passes with flying colours, and for his first 50 passenger flights, will still be flying with training captains like Chris. Which means if you do see him entering the cockpit on one of your trips, don't panic.
Let's just go and do that again, shall we? Because that was good, wasn't it? We like that.
Yeah.
Wunderbar.
Every year, easyJet fly over 80 million passengers to 870 destinations. But for some, flying can be the most terrifying experience there is. It's been estimated that over a quarter of all Brits suffer to some extent from aerophobia, a very real and sometimes crippling fear of flying. To help them cope, easyJet runs anti-anxiety or fearless flying courses. Today's fearless flyers are taking to the skies out of London's Stansted Airport. Joining them is course counsellor Lawrence Leighton.
You have to understand the mind of a phobic. A phobic does two things to create fear. They play negative mind movies of the worst case scenario, and they say negative things to themselves. Now, normally when people go on holiday, they see nice things like sitting on a sun-drenched beach. Phobic will see the plane exploding in midair. When they see those kind of images, of course, they're going to make themselves scared. So hopefully they will be able to take control of their emotions, of their fear, and they'll be able to fly fearlessly.
So you're still pointing that way, because you're going to go round there.
Oh, I see.
Also reassuring the passengers is Captain Chris Foster, easyJet's flight operations manager, who is overseeing this special flight.
Can I ask you just to join behind the lady in the back there?
Yeah?
With over 10,000 flying hours under his belt, Captain Chris is one of the most experienced pilots.
Hello, how are you doing today? Everything all right?
At easyJet, a captain's role is no longer limited to flying. It's much more customer-facing, especially on these types of flights where the presence of a caring captain can make all the difference.
Would you like a wheelchair to get the aircraft?
The fearless flight Captain Chris will be supervising takes just an hour. Nonetheless, all standard boarding procedures are adhered to make this feel no different from any other flight.
There's some people that are actually really, really tense, and actually you can just see the anxiety still with them. But actually other people have got great big smiles on their face. There's almost that anticipation, you know, they put their heart and soul into this. And for some people, this is really a life-changing opportunity for them, and they realise that.
One person in the tense camp trying to be smiley is Linda, who, although her son is an easyJet pilot,
so just took her right down there, that's where departures is.
She's still petrified of flying.
Fantastic. You've flown from here? I haven't been as a passenger for numerous years. I've flown from here, but I've obviously...
First stop on the monorail.
First stop on the monorail, okay. Fair enough, security gate 16.
You just got to deal with your own demons, haven't you? Whether it's claustrophobia or fear of heights or not being in control. You've got all of them. Yeah. The last flight I did was so awful. I said I'd never step on again. And that's the kind of position I'm at now, really. You know, I sort of need to get the courage to get back on, really.
So, names, please.
Passengers come from all over the UK to conquer their fear of flying, and having already completed a one-day lecture on flight safety, they're now ready to take to the skies.
I actually feel quite in control at the moment. Quite calm, more excited than what I was yesterday. And I woke up this morning and I didn't feel panicked by the thought of going on a plane, which is probably the first time that's ever happened.
First stop on the transit train for you.
Londoner Hannah has brought her husband with her for support, and she seems to be keeping her phobias under control. For the moment.
They're not shaking, and I still feel in control, and I'm still smiling.
Although Linda appears to be losing it, perhaps on purpose.
I've lost my boarding pass, so I'm sort of vaguely comforted. They might not let me on.
Gate called. It's time for the dreaded moment of boarding.
This is it. This is it. No turning back now. No turning back now. Yeah. Well done.
The aircraft now. Cabin crew on doors for departure. We now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft.
With takeoff looming, the reality begins to hit home.
A little bit nervous now.
And for one passenger, it's all too much.
I can't do it. I want to go.
Come on, Stephen, you can. Stephen, you absolutely can.
Whilst the plane is taxiing down the runway seconds from takeoff, he wants to get off.
The thing is, you can do it.
I can't do it. It's too late to get off. It's not one I need to get off. It's too late to get off now. I need to get off.
So you can't get off now, right? That's gone. But I'm going to help you. So I want you to come and sit down now, because it's dangerous for you to be standing and you can't get off.
Captain Chris now has the difficult decision of whether or not to abort the flight. With easyJet's target of recruiting 350 brand new pilots this year, the training runway in France is taking a bit of a battering. Having successfully guided Tom to perform 6 safe takeoffs and landings,
And I have control. What do you think? Yeah, it's better. Could you feel that feeling better? You are scanning faster, you control the net a little bit better. That was great.
training captain Chris is about to turn his attention to Adrian, who's no stranger to driving large vehicles.
I've been driving Lorry, so it should
have you really?
Yeah.
It should be just like being home.
Exactly, it's just like an Arctic. It's just that you can't reverse it.
Which is a great shame.
Yeah.
How long did you do that for?
Since I came to the UK.
Really?
Which was 12 years ago.
Wow.
The Lorry is paid for flying.
Is it really?
At 3 times longer and roughly 50 tons heavier than any lorry he will ever have driven, the Airbus might take just a bit of getting used to.
100 knots. Checked. Just a little slower. That's it. Keep it going.
Cruise.
Wonderful. How's it feel?
Yeah, it feels good.
So enjoy the view, mate. Right, so have you got a girlfriend?
Yes, and a 1-month-old daughter.
No way, really?
Today, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
How fantastic is that?
Exactly. Speed alt start.
Check. There we go. We'll just level off. 2,000 feet. Good. Probably a little bit low on the flight path angle. You want it a little bit less than that. So just adjust the attitude up and hold it about there. There you go. That's it. So disregard those pappies now.
PAPIs, or the precision path indicators, are the lights to the side of the runway designed to guide the pilot during landing. But Captain Chris is keen for Adrian to learn to land without their help.
Maintain the centre line. I have control, sir. Do you know what I loved about landing, mate?
Thank you.
Did you?
Yes.
It's very controlled, very easy, wasn't it? I could see you're going to be an instructor next time at all. Should we just go back and do another?
Yeah.
Let's go and see what we learned.
Yeah.
You have control?
I have control.
For Adrian, it seems flying aeroplanes is in his blood.
My dad is actually flying in Romania, but his main activity is prop dusting, which is with a very old Russian plane. That's what he calls real flying. Like when you fly that close to the ground, then you have to be aware of all the dangers and stuff. And no autopilot on top of it. It's muscle power. That's him over there. Come on, Mickey Mouse. The only problem with this, you don't get any training.
There's no simulator for this.
No, exactly. I mean, they should think about that. For him, my dad is so important that I've managed to accomplish this. For him, it was a dream that never came true. And I think for him, me getting a job now with an airline is actually that dream being accomplished.
To pile on the pressure, Adrian's dad plans to be a passenger on his son's first commercial flight in a few days' time. Whilst Adrian looks forward to his first passenger flight, another special flight is about to take off. Luton is easyJet's second biggest base after Gatwick, with 260 captains and first officers flying out of here. Every flight starts with a briefing in the crew room. And today, Captain Matthew Craven is leading his crew for their flight to Amsterdam.
How are you guys all doing anyway?
Not too bad,
Not too
thanks.
bad. No, I've not think I've flown with any of you before, so I'm quite new to Luton.
Nice to meet you.
You flown with Steph?
Yes.
Excellent.
We spent like 3 hours in Belfast, didn't we, in the crew room? Yeah.
For 24-year-old Steph, This will be one of the last briefings here, as she's about to move from Luton to a new job with easyJet in Milan, Italy. Worldwide, only 3% of all pilots are female. However, easyJet are keen to ensure that number increases to 20% by recruiting more women cadets in the next 3 years. Steph has recently completed the 1,500 hours needed to become a fully qualified first officer.
I think that it adds the element of surprise that I don't actually tell anyone what I do.
No, I don't either.
And then they have to just like force it out of you, and then they're like, really? Why didn't? And then they go, why didn't you say that's amazing?
Because you know it kind of elicits this kind of wow response, and then results in like 100 questions.
Steph's also soon to be wowing Italian passengers with what she does for a living.
Cool. We're ready to rock and roll.
Dust sets.
As she and her first officer boyfriend Alex are moving to easyJet's biggest base in Italy.
Landing traffic 8 miles.
So, how long is it until you go? Is it Milan you're moving to?
Yeah, like 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Be our last flight together.
No!
I'll let you better be flying with me now, actually.
But you're thinking, I don't want to fly with Steph anymore.
It's a shame losing you and Alex from Luton, though, so it'd be nice with both of you to have a new start in Milan.
It will be
Do something a
really
bit different.
Yeah, I think it's good to have a change, especially because we're quite young and like don't really have any commitments, so it's quite easy for us to move around. So I thought, yeah, why not?
Just a few more years and you'll be in this seat, won't you?
Oh my god.
Like 2 years.
In order for Steph to progress from the first officer's to the captain's chair and earn a £50,000 pay rise, she'll have to clock up at least another 1,500 flying hours, as well as undergo extra training to deal with more challenging flying conditions.
So 260 at 16.
Including the weather, which seems to be affecting Amsterdam.
That's just in my limits, isn't it? So it's
Fortunately, I think it's saying a maximum
25.
So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes.
yeah, see what they say.
It's become unexpectedly windy, and for safety, a first officer is not allowed to land the plane if gusts exceed 25 knots.
Naughty that the wind's still so strong.
And it shows no signs of easing off.
Yeah, so up to 24 knots across, so...
Yeah, so, yeah, that's yours.
That's alright. You happy we can do it earlier then, Steph?
Yeah, do you want to just switch now?
Absolutely.
Cool. I've reduced the speed to 220. I don't know if you want it.
Check 220, thank you. High control.
Yeah,
your radio.
My one.
Sorry for that, but you can fly back to Luton if you're happy, so...
Yeah, I can't believe that it's still so strong.
So it's now down to Captain Matthew to deal with Schiphol Airport's windy conditions.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
Reverse
724, contact ground,
Well, wasn't the prettiest landing ever, but it's quite gusty, that was.
That was really gusty, that was, wasn't it?
Anyway, just get my excuses then.
God, I really didn't think it was going to be this bad.
No. I was saying it was going to be sunny with the odd light shower, but it's a bit...
Yeah, it's more than that,
grey
isn't
and
it?
miserable.
Horrible. It's my water. I knew my coat is in my car, and I thought I should bring it. And I got really wet on that walk around.
At Stansted, the fearless flyer Airbus will be hoping for a slightly less turbulent flight, if they can actually take to the skies.
You don't need to get off. Trust me, if you come and sit down, I can help you.
With the flight about to take off, a passenger has lost his nerve and is demanding to be let off the plane.
Deep breath in. And push it out.
Despite everyone's best efforts to calm him down, Captain Chris Foster has no choice but to take the plane back to the stand and let the passenger leave the plane.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to keep you up to date, someone just doesn't want to face the plane. So unfortunately what we're actually going to do is just return to the stand because it needs to come from within. We are ready to go. We're ready to take off. We're ready to take to the skies. But, you know, if it's not right for this individual, then, of course, we're going to support him as well. So let's give him that motivation to actually come back on another flight, hopefully in the not-too-distant future.
Door now open, Captain Chris is hopeful no other passengers are tempted to make a run for it.
Hopefully nobody else is going to want to get off.
As with most aerophobics, takeoff and landings create the most anxiety, which hopefully can be eased by Captain Chris's dulcet tones as he gives a blow-by-blow account of what's happening.
And we're now setting the takeoff thrust. You get forced back into your seat. That's with the acceleration force. As it becomes louder and louder, that's the intensity of the vibrations. That's simply the surface of the runway. And once we get to the takeoff speed, the captain will gently lift the nose of the aircraft into the air. And the aircraft will climb effortlessly into the air. Let's give yourselves a huge congratulations. We are airborne. You've taken to the skies as fearless flying.
It's a very emotional moment for all.
All credit to you. You have done amazingly well. Give yourselves a very, very big round of applause. Well done. Really well done.
The passengers realize they've conquered fears that only moments ago seemed insurmountable.
Done it.
Unbelievable. Look at this. Okay, here we go. We're going to get a picture. 1, 2, 3. Hold those up.
Yeah, I'm surprised how calm I've been. You know, I haven't had the feelings of rising panic, you know, like I had on the last flight I ever did.
Brilliant. Can't think why I've been frightened all these years.
Oh, great, it's buzzing, isn't it? Everyone's just so happy. Yeah, I think maybe we should try and get a cheap getaway for the end of May bank holiday.
The sun's now gone down, so it's officially dusk.
I'll even pay for the flight.
You've got that. You have got that on camera. I am holding you to that now. Where should I go?
And it's not just the passengers with future bookings in mind.
Loads of smiling faces, loads of happy faces, all thinking about what they're going to do next. You know, oh, the next flight and the next flight and the next flight. So for us, it's a win-win. You know, we get happy passengers, and actually we get passengers that want to come back and fly with us as well, which is even better.
Back on the ground at Stansted, it's clear that flying has turned the passengers' fears into freedom.
Hey, you've done it, mate. Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.
It was a key to freedom, you know, to get on planes and go on holiday, to visit my son in Scotland, you know. So, yeah, it was totally empowering.
My adrenaline's still pumping. I'm just like really euphoric. I can't wait to go home and sort of like say to the kids, oh my goodness, mummy's cured. We're going to go fly. We're going to go on holiday. So yeah, oh, just fabulous, absolutely fabulous.
New Zealand's airspace is one of the most uncrowded in the world. The country is also home to one of the largest pilot training facilities, L3 Airline Academy at Hamilton on the North Island. After months in the classroom, it's here that trainees finally get their hands on the controls of a plane. Be it one of a slightly diminutive stature compared to the Airbus, the single-engine Cessna 172. The first major test of any aspiring pilot is to fly alone, which is something 25-year-old Nick is about to do.
3 o'clock every day we get the schedule the next day. So between 2:30 and 3 is like the longest half an hour of the day, just waiting for it to come out and seeing what you're doing. So just go on to this website now and check it. But it's still not out. It's still not published, so just got to wait a bit longer.
Nick and his fellow cadet Jake have been living at the flight academy for the last 7 months with other training pilots from around the world. They've successfully completed the classroom phase and are just beginning their practical aircraft training.
Hopefully tomorrow I should be going solo for the first time, so that's quite exciting. A bit nervous, but should be good. You go up by yourself for one circuit and then touch down, jump out and celebrate. Because yeah, I think first solo is one of the big landmark achievements for any pilot, so it's quite exciting. Yeah. I think you're the first to go solo, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is quite cool, yeah. I like to think of myself as a bit of a Tom Cruise.
3 weeks ago, Jake became the first in his class to go it alone.
When you've taken off and then you look next to you and obviously there's nobody there, you don't really have much time to think about things, but when you come into land, I think you've kind of got about 10 seconds where you just think, like, it's all on me, whether this plane lands now or not. Yeah, and you can't ask anyone for any advice, like, is this all right? You just got to trust yourself, really.
Nick is now the only one left from his class that hasn't yet flown alone, and he's holding up the group's ceremonial initiation to the hallowed Solo Club.
There's a tradition here when you go solo, you get dunked by a bucket of water. So the rest of the guys are waiting for me to catch up and go solo, for them to be dunked along with me. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Down at Flight Operations, head trainer John gets tomorrow's schedule ahead of the cadets.
7 o'clock and he's got a circuit booking.
Yes.
Okay.
How do you think he's going to go?
Fingers crossed, actually. I've just been reading his report. He's actually got 90% of the way there, and he's into that little gotcha at the end, just about bringing everything together for the landing. Okay?
Absolutely.
So if he can get a bit of confidence and a bit of coordination around that phase of flight, then there should be no reason he doesn't go.
Nick finally gets the news he's been waiting for.
Oh, we're in. Oh, great, yeah. So nice and early. First solo check at 7 a.m. So that's nice, that's good. Should be good weather in the morning, nice calm winds.
Wind
good
is
to
not
go.
a trainee pilot's friend.
No, we don't want wind. So hopefully I'll be going solo.
You'll remember it for the rest of your life, and it's the first thing that people ask you at dinner parties. Like...
When was it? Yeah. Should be good. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a long wait.
It is a big one. First solo is first landmark event, so it's a big achievement for the trainee. Not unusual at this stage of flying for a trainee to have difficulties in one area or another. So he's having some issues on the technical side, which means he isn't consistently achieving a safe landing. So additional training has been created, and our hope is that that's going to be ultimately successful. Under prompts, he can do this quite happily. But the prompts aren't going to be there on a solo event.
A prompt is an instruction from trainer to cadet while in the cockpit together. Without prompts on a solo flight, all decisions must be made by Nick and Nick alone. And that includes the dreaded landing. Back in the south of France, another cadet, further on in his training, is also taking a first flight in an Airbus 319.
Best of luck. See you later.
Harry is about to take his final test before being let loose on paying passengers. It's the culmination of years of hard work and study.
Unquestionably, there's moments when I'm here late at night, not understanding something, thinking, why did I even bother doing this? Why have I chosen something that requires so much effort, so much money, and this will be the case throughout the whole career. Intermittently, they'll be flying, but there are always checks, and you never know everything in this job.
It's not going to come as any great surprise to you know that's the runway just there.
Yeah,
so in terms of taxiing, we're just going to go over there. Shall we have a go at it?
Yeah, let's try it.
I think we ought to. So you have control, mate. I'm going to give you the before takeoff checklist. Flight controls.
Are we assuming checked?
Yes.
Yeah, checked.
Refit. What do you mean assuming check? We checked the rudder, didn't we? I've just flown 9 circuits. I know the ailerons and the rudders work, and you check the rudder. That was a slight on my professionalism. The flight controls, Harry. Checked. Yes, checked. Right, let us have a stab at this.
To prove himself safe to carry paying customers, Harry will now have to repeatedly take off and land this 80-ton Airbus.
Keep looking out, keep that rate. I saw you looking. Keep pitching. Positive climb.
Gear up.
If he fails, it'll be back to the classroom.
Well, failure is not an option. That never is an option, as far as I'm concerned. So I won't even entertain that idea.
30, 20, retard, retard, retard.
In aviation, you have to strive to get very high results.
Rotate.
If I don't, then that won't be a good day. But yeah, failure is just absolutely not on the agenda for this. There's too much at stake now for that to happen.
May I take control just 1 second? You have control.
Harry's chances of avoiding failure depend on impressing Chief Training Captain Chris Kingswood.
That was astonishingly good, mate. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah.
Are you quietly chuffed, or are you really pleased
No, I
about
just
that?
don't want to mess the next one up.
Excellent. Well, that's a good approach to take, isn't it? You managed it nice, you were scanning, and lovely landing. Okay. Over to you, Maestro.
Thank you. I have control.
He may have impressed Captain Chris this time, but he still has 4 more landings to make. And there's a lot at stake for Harry.
20. Retard. Retard.
As we sit here now, I owe over £124,500, which has to be paid back. So on that basis alone, there is no option at all for failure.
30. 20. Retard. Retard.
Yeah, contain central. Okay, have control, mate?
You have control.
Very nice. What are you going to change, though, just to keep making it better, just to keep it
I just need to land slightly left.
Correct.
Yeah.
Land in the middle. What do you think about your flare height?
Possibly a little bit high.
Just a fraction.
Yeah.
Flaring is the gradual lifting of the nose of the aircraft as it comes in to land, slowing its descent and allowing it to touch down safely on the shock-absorbing rear wheels first. If it's not done properly, it's not just a bumpy landing, but costly damage to the aeroplane.
Lovely touch, lovely feel for the airplane close to the ground. Okay, that's grand. Jesus, I'm just having so much fun. And the wind's calm, so you have to land on the centre line, Harry, because there's no excuses.
Okay.
30. 20. Retard. Retard.
Now, if you move your feet up to the top of the rudder pedals, very gently start to brake, and you are as cool as a cool thing, mate.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
I know.
Come on, Karate Kid.
Last week, Adrian moved his girlfriend and 5-week-old daughter to France. Having completed his training, he's about to start his dream job as a commercial airline pilot. He's been posted to easyJet's base at Paris-Orly Airport, and today is about to fly his first batch of paying customers on the 1 hour and 40-minute hop from Paris to Berlin.
We're doing training today in the flight deck. Adrian is having his first day, flying with passengers. And,
among the 186 passengers on his maiden flight will be some very special guests.
Adrian's parents are going to be on the first flight.
And my twin brother.
And your twin brother as well? Wow,
Oh,
cool,
okay.
you've got a twin.
Yes.
Don't send him into the flight deck.
Well, I was thinking about it.
You can swap. So if everybody's ready, let's go.
Yep. Okay.
How are you feeling?
A bit nervous at the moment.
I've not seen you nervous before.
We haven't?
No, I don't think
I was just hiding it properly, that's all. I can fake things.
186 passengers, 1 identical twin, and 2 parents. Let's hope Adrian's not faking the flying.
How are you all feeling?
Nervous. It's not a usual flight. There's something special about this flight.
Oh, extraordinar. Este zborul pe care mi-l doresc de 35 de ani.
He's been waiting for this flight for 35 years.
For the first leg of the flight, Adrian is in charge of talking to air traffic control, whilst Captain Peter Weiss flies the plane.
V1, rotate. What's the plan? Gear up.
It's a smooth takeoff, but Adrian's nerves seem to be getting the better of him.
When I say gear up, you put the gear up and you confirm gear up as soon as you see that it's traveling.
Okay.
Yeah?
While training Captain Peter picks up Adrian on his takeoff procedure, in the cabin, twin brother Alex is reminiscing.
We both starting training as private pilots about
I think 5 years ago. Then I remained a private pilot, and then he continued his commercial pilot preparation. Yeah, it's a very, very good feeling that he succeeded.
Back in the cockpit, Adrian is about to learn another important lesson.
Is that? It's him. Now this is the typical thing, yeah? Everybody turns to nice Xavier, and nobody's watching the plane. So what you can do is you turn halfway around, you look at the plane on my screens, I look at the plane on your screens, and I can still kind of say, hi Xavier, we're fine. Or you manage it actively and say, mate, you watch the plane, I talk to Xavier. Yeah? But somebody has to watch the plane.
Right.
Yeah?
Are you defensive seven? Yeah, well, I'll keep one, but at the moment I can't get anything in, so I'm fine.
He looks so cool, but he's nervous inside. Yeah, if I can pick one, so then I'm fine. Any sandwich you can recommend, or are they all crap? A year ago, we had sandwiches that had a good through date that was like 3 months ahead. So you could keep them for 3 months without being frozen, huh? Well, you should eat loads of them. With all the preservatives in it, you will be young forever.
Just before descent, it's time for another rite of passage.
So if you fancy doing a PA, feel free to do that. Yeah?
With Adrian's father and twin brother in the cabin, he can't afford to fluff it.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
This is your first officer speaking. Just a quick update on the weather. We have 2 degrees in Berlin and light rain showers. I hope you enjoy the rest of the flight, and
Thank you for choosing easyJet. Goodbye. Right.
It's all good.
But the weather is not quite as rosy as Adrian's broadcast made out.
Still an awful lot of tailwind. Yeah, they still have snow on the ground. Sunglasses gone.
Adrian's desperate to land the plane with his parents on board, but there's a storm brewing in Berlin.
Got a runway in sight?
Yeah.
Can we call visual?
Yes.
Yeah? You happy to take control? Yeah. Good. You have control? My radios.
Despite the adverse weather conditions, Adrian's determined to fly the plane.
So now we've got a good crosswind from the left. It will fade off towards the ground, on the ground.
High crosswinds means the pilot has to compensate by increasing the plane's speed, making the landing much more challenging.
500.
Stable. Watch the center line. Descent going towards the aiming point. Keep going.
50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. Retard. 10.
Release the back pressure. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All in, a good effort. Yeah? In challenging conditions. You can be happy with yourself.
Brilliant, brilliant. Not easy. The weather wasn't helping too much, but yeah, it was quite a strong crosswind. But what a trainer used to say, any landing that they can walk off from, it's a good landing. So there you go, people are walking off.
He's looking forward to seeing him and telling him that he loves him and he's really proud of what he achieved.
It's 6 a.m., 20 degrees, with a northeasterly breeze of no more than 4 knots. Perfect, stable conditions for 25-year-old Nick to attempt his first solo flight.
Every morning for the first flight, you do a full inspection of the aircraft, checking everything is how it's supposed to be, check the oil, fuel tanks, make sure the wings won't fall off.
It's not the wings falling off Nick should be worrying about. The most important moment in flying is coming back down to earth. and that has always been a bit of a sticking point for him.
Landing's probably my biggest bugbear at the moment, but made some good improvement yesterday on that. So feeling quite confident today.
Basically, you're coming down at an angle towards what is a large lump of concrete. That can lead to a situation where the aircraft could be damaged.
Of course, it's not just the plane that could be damaged.
If you need any help, speak to Tower, but I will be on the radio.
Great, thanks.
Good luck, and see you when you come back.
Cheers.
Awesome.
Although it's Nick's first solo flight, his instructor Radovan is also feeling the pressure.
If things go well, then everything's fine. If things don't go well, then they bloody don't go well at all.
Charlie Tango Alpha, Charlie 2, ready.
Charlie Tango Alpha, taxi home point Eco 2, cross runway 18 right. Charlie Tango Alpha, runway 18 left, cleared for takeoff.
Charlie Tango Alpha, confirm, clear to takeoff.
Okay.
Takeoff Alpha.
Tower notified, Nick now needs to accelerate to 70 miles an hour to take off. Nick must now complete a 3-mile circuit of the airbase at an altitude of no more than 2,000 feet.
Charlie Tango Alpha, extend downwind, reports out of the Katana, just right of your 12 o'clock, 2 miles.
Extend downwind, look for traffic, Charlie Tango Alpha.
We had a little bit of problems along the way, which is quite normal when they're in that, let's say, initial sensitive phase of flying. We'll see how it goes now.
Number 2, orbit complete. Looking for traffic, number 3, Charlie Tango Alpha, 18 left, Charlie Tango Alpha.
Pretty good.
Foxtrot Charlie Romeo, runway 18 right,
to
clear to land. Charlie Tango Alpha, make one right-hand orbit, report complete.
One right-hand orbit, report complete. Charlie Tango Alpha.
I'm actually very happy.
Charlie Tango Alpha, you're well spaced, turn base when you're ready.
Turning base, Charlie Tango Alpha.
Well done, but we'll wait until he comes back.
3-mile circuit done. Time now to focus on the far more demanding descent.
The important bit for me is obviously that it's got the technical ability to ensure a safe landing. That's him just establishing on final now.
Runway 18 left, cleared to land.
Cleared to land, 18 left, Charlie Tango Alpha.
It doesn't have to be perfect at all, as long as it's safe. I'm quite happy with that.
Everything looks as it should be at the moment.
Unlike landing the Airbus, Nick needs to bring his Cessna level with the ground. It's a crucial maneuver, and there's no room for error.
He's touched down now. That looks actually quite nice. We can expect him to taxi back in now. Once he's shut down, he'll have a huge grin on his face. Trainees come here with the dream, and we make that dream a reality. And this is very much the first step on the road towards that.
Well done. How did it go?
It was good. Very good.
How was the touchdown?
It was all right. It was good. It was a bit hard, but it was all right.
Centerline?
Yeah.
Centerline.
Yeah, centerline. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's very good. Thanks
Awesome.
very much, Ray.
Once again,
Thank you very much.
congratulations.
Yeah.
We'll have a chat later on.
First solo flight completed. Now comes the next most important part of Nick's career. Calling his mum.
Just calling to say that I went solo. First solo. Yeah. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, it was good. Perfect morning for it, really. Yeah. Yeah, so happy, relieved. Yeah, I'm still alive, so that's a good sign. Yeah. All right, take care. All right, love you, bye. Bye. Cool. All right, that's Mum done.
With Nick being the last of his class to fly solo, it's finally time for one last very special tradition.
Yeah, go on, Nicholas. Well, obviously we've had like a few weeks to wait, but it's good to finally. It was good to wait for each other because doing it on your own.
Yeah, it's good.
But I am literally freezing.
The easyJet cadet class of 2017 have finally achieved their dream of becoming commercial airline pilots. Over the last 2 years, they've experienced the lows during training.
Stick forward.
Was that meant to happen?
Andrew?
Okay.
Along with the exhilarating highs.
I'll make a round of applause as well.
Charlotte, did you do that last landing?
I did.
Looked perfect.
Get used to it.
And now they're flying holidaymakers.
I'm actually done at takeoff here.
Oh, right, okay.
To over 30 countries across Europe.
You're extremely young looking. We know you trust you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the flight deck. Your first officer, Cornelius Wilson speaking.
But with the demand for flights ever increasing, candidates for the class of 2018 are already lining up at flight school.
Why do you want to become a commercial airline pilot?
When I went to university, I joined the University Air Squadron, and I got the bug.
So the training continues.
What do we do with this when we see this?
Pushing right rudder.
Right.
For those hoping to join the next generation of easyJet pilots.